My life was filled up with drug abuse and alcohol abuse and anger and bitterness and rage, and things were at an all-time low for me, and I was living in sin and backslidden and away from God, and my circumstances were to the point where I didn't really care if I would live or not.
I had this overwhelming feeling of despair and isolation and depression.
Was beat, broken, abused.
By the time I turned 9, I was being raised by a gang, and then I became a gang member. At the age of 17, I get caught by the law. I have 6 counts of conspiracy to commit murder, 1 felony drug possession charge with the intent to sell, and I am looking at 100 years for each count.
I was completely lost. I was an atheist. I was heavy into the occult. I was an alcoholic. I was well on my way, I'm sure, to drug addiction.
I was lost. I had no purpose. I had no directionality. I didn't have values that I believed in, no principles to live by. I was swayed by every force that came into my life. I partied too hard, drank too much. The devil had me where he wanted me. Isolated from every people that I love and that loved me. And I was more alone and more empty than I ever was to begin with.
After 22 years, it came to an abrupt end. I couldn't believe that I was a part of the group now known as Single.
As early as 14 years old, I got arrested for an alcohol-related problem. So I spent the next couple years just running around drinking and getting deeper into drugs, addiction. My life spiraled quickly downhill. I was constantly getting locked up, going to jail. I got to a point when I was around 25 years old that I'd lost so much. I was so devastated that I tried to take my own life.
In high school, I was raped, and I turned to alcohol to help mask the pain. Found myself in a very abusive relationship, physically, mentally, emotionally, very angry and bitter, and I didn't feel like I was worth anything. I was rejected, and I was very angry and mad at God.
I've been in the streets since I was 15 years old. I started off, petty hustling, selling marijuana, stuff like that. And, eventually, the devil was basically telling me that you can get away with doing little stuff like that, but then I eventually grew to, doing other things. And, I know for me, I'm supposed to be doing life. I know I am.
Hanging out with the wrong crowd. Actually, I was at school. I did not know God. I came from a different religion.
Felt lost, I felt hopeless, I felt broken. I wanted to give up so many times.
Alcohol and drug related, wild and as wide open as it could be, but I knew there was still something missing.
I'm still floored to this day from the place that God has brought me from. All the drugs and alcohol and the playing in the rock and roll bars to now being a worship pastor. And so it's amazing the love and the mercy of God.
He's never forsaken me, and He's completely loved me, and He still loves me through all of this.
I got God in my life, and it's that light at the end of the tunnel that that's there. I know that you're going through stuff. I know that, maybe you have been abused, you've been beaten, you've been broken, you've been pushed down. Get God in the center of your life, because trust me, it really does make a big difference. He's changed mine. I know He can change yours too.
God still loves me, and that He's gonna still use me. I have a purpose. My marriage was not the end of my relationship with Him. It began here at the divorce recovery at the Blended Church that I began my healing. And it's not finished yet, and it may take a lifetime, but with God and with those that are going through this walk with me, I'm a better person.
Since I gave my life to Him, He worked in me. It wasn't easy, but it sure is worth it and the best decision I've ever made in my life. He has used the devil's ploy to destroy my life into a message of salvation and redemption. He is a God that is more than able. He is a God that is willing to change you from the inside out. He is a God that has called you for greatness and great things. He is a God that wants to love you, bless you, anoint you.
I know that I will come through it and I will be a stronger person and grow into the person that God has called me to be, because I know this is my test, this is my time, this is my trial. And I do feel a triumph coming. Even though I may have my down days, I know God has me.
The Blended Church has changed our lives because it's shown us what the true meaning of Christ is about. Not just about going to church, but about the worship and the things that you yourself get out of it by living your life the way that Christ planned for you to live it.
He has blessed me so much, not only with health, but only spiritual health, because I feel closer and closer to Him, because I know that He is my Savior. He is the one that I know He is there for me.
I can say that after June 22nd, 1982, I've never drank again through the grace of God, and He's really rebuilt my life.
I am only here, saved by grace, free, walking amongst the street, with no record, because the Lord decided that He wanted me to do something solely for Him.
My darkest days were no more. You know, I found someone that loved me and accepted me unconditionally, and that was Christ. And I was asked to co-lead Sister Still Standing, a ladies group here. So I found that to be so rewarding, to be able to put my issues aside and to use the things that have happened to me in the past, all the bad things, all the dark days, all the negative things. It's helped me to be able to help others and to be able to connect. And I think it was all for a purpose, and it was all for a reason. I'm still a sinner, I'm still human, but I'm a child of God, and I'm accepted for who I am, and I'm loved for who I am, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
And for me, finding God, it was just like, it was nothing that I had never had. I never had Him, doing the things I was doing out there. But once I found Him, it was the most beautiful thing ever. Like, I'm still struggling, going through things, but ain't nothing like that inner peace within yourself to know, like, you just got that man right there on your side at all times. And it's just, that's the most beautiful thing in the world.
And I'm telling you what, I was so changed by the power of God. At that minute, I knew 100% that He was alive and He was real and that He loved me. And I'm telling you, there's hope for you. Wherever you are, He's going to prove Himself to you because He loves you. He really loves you.